Welcome back to the show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We are live. Chris Denman, Travis Terrell, excited to be here. Thanks to Sam Lyons for stopping by last hour. Had a blast playing recasting call. We'll have the Great American Race this hour. Rhea Butcher, who's at the Ready Room, will join us via video phone call, I guess so. Travis, it's Friday. It's exciting. We've got lots to get into for the Great American Race, but I do want to know, sir, if you saw about Keith Morrison's new podcast, and I don't want to talk to anyone else about this on the show but you, Pam Hupp. The thing about Pam, she is the subject. What's happening? We will officially lose Gardner for moments in time now.
I saw this news at the timeline yesterday, and I immediately knew there was only one person. I felt like, have you ever, like you know something's done specifically for an individual? This was that moment. Mm-hmm. And that, of course, was for Chris Gardner. Congratulations, my friend. The podcast is up and out. Pam Hupp and your hero, Keith Morrison. How do you feel? What was your initial reaction when you saw that this pod was going up and that your hero, Keith Morrison, you and Bill Hader's hero, in fact, was going to comment on the great local Pam Hupp?
Well, and the great local Pam, interesting description of it. As I tweeted out, it was simply, holy fucking shit.
Wow.
So you were excited.
Yeah. Not only is Keith Morrison doing a true crime podcast, but he's launching it with the Pam Hupp story.
The thing about Pam.
Yeah.
And he doesn't mean Beasley.
The thing about Pam.
How does he now? I think if there's anybody in the world that deserves a podcast, it's Keith Morrison.
Look at that guy.
And he's just,
look at that leather jacket.
He's one of those guys, like, I'm going to be honest, if I'm a Democratic candidate, I strongly consider him as a VP. Oh. Because he's just
got a look.
He's got a look. He's got great appeal. But this is pretty cool. I love that, one, Dateline, they're doing true crime. It makes sense because they've been there. They are what some would consider the true crime kings. So for them to finally jump into the true crime podcast makes sense, considering the true crime podcasts are like exploding all over the internet. Mm-hmm. They're incredibly popular. We've even seen it done in sports. So this makes sense, and it's really cool that it's. I say cool in the sense that it's only cool because it's recognized as a local story, but it is cool they're doing it.
It's a terrible story, but
it's a terrible story.
Interesting way to cover it.
Cool is a terrible way of saying it. I apologize.
What do you call it? The great.
The great Pam.
The great.
Yeah. The great murderer.
The great.
From Vulture, the thing about Pam Hupp, which is produced in partnership with Neon Hum Media, will include new interviews and conversations from interrogation videos that have not been featured on Dateline, but no interview with Hupp herself. She has never been available to us, but boy, oh boy, would I love to, Morrison said. I would love nothing more than to sit down with the lovely Pam and ask her a question or two. If that could happen, that would be something. I would hope that could be arranged at some point. I mean, that's a podcast in all itself.
What about you submitting yourself as a contributor?
I will help Keith in any way I can. He is a prince of a man.
Oh, wow.
So I would be more than willing to help out.
You don't plan on having children? So is this the closest you'll come to the...
Jesus.
To a little baby?
No, is this your crowning achievement in life?
Well, I've done nothing. It's just been given to me, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, it's a miracle. It's my little miracle, my little blessing. Besides, I guess, my niece, Whitley.
Let's say you literally just had a niece less than a month ago, Gardner.
Yeah.
Not sure if you remember that. You were just talking about the lovely young niece of yours not too long ago. But sure, a podcast with starring with Keith Morrison would do it for you. I get it.
I'm sure she'd understand. She will understand someday.
I got it, Uncle Chris. I totally get it.
You can stop talking about it now. No, but this is...
What a week for you. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, that came out. I saw that yesterday and just was floored.
I hope, if this is why I want to, this is what motivates me to be successful, Chris, because I want to do cool things for my friends. I would love for Keith Morrison and Chris Gardner to just ride on a beautiful scooter through Forest Park together as they converse about.
Just
talk.
pointing and
And then he stops and goes, "Mr. Gardner, is that the River de Pear?"
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that would be the ultimate moment for you. Riding on a scooter, talking about the River de Pear and true crime, ancient aliens with Keith Morrison.
Lovely day in a lovely park where nothing could ever go wrong.
Gardner. Ancient aliens.
you're just saying things that he enjoys.
Yes.
Well, that's how it works.
What's the old expression? A lie can travel halfway around the world before the truth gets its pants on. So true. So true.
It's that last part.
It's that second so true
Yeah.
is what make Keith Morrison like a legend.
Yeah, I might have to reach out to the Dateline people.
He's a brilliant man. And he's one of the few things I think left in this country that everyone can unite behind.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's just so cool that he's doing this podcast. Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
You
I'm
deserve
looking
it.
forward to listening to this.
You deserve it. Boys and girls, it's now time to play the game. The game that divides our communities every week.
That's great. We're big on division.
We're very big on division. It's time for the Great American Race.
There's no open for the Great American.
Damn it, I keep thinking that we put something together at some point. I guess it just hasn't happened. Hello, boys and girls, the Great American
Scoreboard, though.
How's that work?
There you go.
Here, tell me about it. I'm going to plug my laptop in.
Okay. The scoreboard, well, it's kind of a credit score rating. We start with, Chris starts with 850. Travis starts with 800 because of systematic racism. And throughout the month, each of you will provide stories that makes the other's community look not too great. And I kind of decide the scoring. I either add to, points-wise, or take away points. And at the end of the month, whoever has the higher credit score, after all of this is done, is declared the winner of the Great American Race for that month. Travis really flamed out last month. Chris won.
Yeah,
It was a good month for Chris.
yeah.
And as it stands right now, Chris is at 720, Travis is at 660 in the middle of September. So let's see what your offerings are today. So who would like to go first?
I kicked it off last go around, so Mr. Denman, I'll let you go first.
Let me pull up my story here.
Does he have video of this too?
No.
Oh,
I'm going to pull up an image, though.
oh, he's got an image. You got images.
This might help a little. Right
Wait. Oh, no. Is this where this story is going? Oh, my God. I don't Oh, man. Oh, man.
Gonna be tough for you to stand up for this one,
Oh,
pal.
my gosh.
Your friend and confidant, LeBron James, attempting to trademark Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
Taco Tuesday!
Taco Tuesday!
So this dude jumps onto a trend that is, we'll give it, just be nice and say 20 years old. Give
or take a decade.
Yep, exactly. LeBron has his trademark filing denied, rejected, if you will.
Racist.
Basketball
Had to
term.
be Trump. Had to be Trump.
I agree. It is racist to try and take many small Mexican-owned businesses marketing tactics away from them.
I think it's pretty racist to think that only Mexicans can make tacos, but go on.
I'll remember that the next time a guy from Oakville opens a taco shack on Cherokee Street and you aren't there supporting it. Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James attempted to trademark the term Taco Tuesday. It's been denied, but according to James' team, he still accomplished the outcome he wanted from the application in the first place. Please. So again, Taco Tuesday is a commonplace term. LeBron James taking just the privilege that he has as someone in the position that he is and tried to rip away a commonplace term from the everyday businessman. While you do generally say that white people ruin it for black people, in this case, a black man tried to steal a thing from a bunch of Hispanic folks, and it's just sickening. For the race, for the man, for the term itself, that term is not owned. It is appreciated by many, and he tried to put it in a silo for himself and his generations to come. Shame on you, LeBron James. And you know what? T-Gar, we don't stand for that.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
I don't think
Nice
that's-
use of the word silo there. I like that.
It gave you a visual.
It's a
like, yeah.
folksy-
And him
yeah.
sitting on top of it he's literally King James.
Yeah.
He's got the crown. Probably has some tacos in the crown because of his taco fortune. So yeah.
Taco fortune.
I think what we
I should
saw
open
here in this particular case is LeBron James showing off his business prowess. Now, this is interesting.
And
that
failing.
And he did fail, but there was also another large, very white institution that attempted to also
This is a
try to
good idea.
copyright
So I
something.
was
Now,
wondering.
you thought Taco Tuesday. Chris is right. Probably has been around for 2 decades. How long do you think the word "the" has been around? For freaking ever. But a university in Ohio, maybe you heard of them, the Ohio State University, attempted to copyright the word "the." So we sit up here and chastise LeBron James, who's considered to be one of the most successful off-the-court business athletes in the world, who did something that was to further his pockets. Well, it happens. But what about a university trying to own the word "the"? I don't see you up here chastising them. Why is it that Chris only has a problem when black people are trying to further themselves in their community, but when a white institution like the Ohio State takes the time to try to copyright the word "the," you don't hear anything from them? Typical millennials.
You know why? Because so many black athletes have prospered from Ohio State, from the Ohio State.
I'm glad you brought up prosper and black athletes,
I'd
because
hate
black
to take
athletes
that.
continue to allow these universities to prosper. You take away the black athlete from the Ohio State. What is Ohio State? What do you learn when you go to Ohio State? What are they known for academically?
Flip
That's
cup.
what I thought.
Flip cup.
So what are you
Very
saying?
good at that. So I'm saying
that my volume has higher, and I'd like for you to pay attention more because it seems as if I'm making a point. See what you can just do with volume?
Okay, Travis, I'm taking 10 points away for that last one. Just, you know what? Yeah, I too read Jamel Hill in the Atlantic. Okay, I see where you were going with that. Now, I did take points away from. I took points away from you, Travis, 60 total, but I did take 20 away from Chris because I did think you did a good job of countering his argument by going with that other story.
Okay.
There are other times where you just go off into the woods and I don't know where we're going. And I
fair
don't
enough.
trust.
Neither does he. To be
Yeah.
fair.
I'm like a bear sometimes
Yeah,
that way.
Don't say that.
Okay.
You lose 10 points for
Ah,
that.
rats.
But you did a better job this time of countering with a legitimate argument, I thought.
Okay.
But it's still a pretty good story for Chris to bring up.
Okay, not bad, Denman. Not bad at all. By the way, Ohio State, surprisingly, also lost their copyright attempt as well. I want to start this off. Before I start my Great American Race, I want to go
That
over
wasn't it?
I'm about to kick it off
Oh,
right
wow.
about now. 20% of marriages around the world apparently are between first cousins. I bring this up only
Careful.
because
How much?
Careful.
according to
First cousin?
incest.com,
Oh, no. You
This is
Googled
around
that?
the world, though?
around the world.
See, you're getting real remote with that.
Okay. I also I'm ready to. I'm just gonna show the video.
Okay.
Fire it away, Gardner.
You saw what was happening. You saw what was going on. What were your thoughts?
Oh my gosh. It could not, I didn't ever think it was going to happen to us.
Do you know how this fire started?
Yes, I do. It was because of my cousin. And I don't want to mention no names.
Your cousin.
Yes.
And you said you think your cousin started this. Do you know how or why?
He's mad because he can't get with me. I'm married to my husband. And it's a long story.
This is fake. Where's this link from?
It is not Chris. Somebody torched a garage in Leavittsburg, Ohio, and one of the victims told a local news channel she thought she knew who the culprit was. It was because of my cousin, said Heather Tenney, and I don't want to mention no names. He's mad because he can't get with me, because I'm married to my husband. It was because of my cousin. So this young lady apparently has been pursued by her cousin,
Yeah.
and it must have created a love triangle to the point where the cousin decided to burn down their house. Now, this is in a very white, rural area, a red state in Ohio. So let's just be clear, they are indeed white people.
She looks like she could be Eastern European, bro.
Nice try.
Why are you talking like Barack there?
Because
White
I want people to be clear that
Okay.
this is white people shit. And this is pretty disgusting. And this is par for the course for your community. It's you feel that you shouldn't snitch on your cousin because he burned down your she shed. However, you just highlighted to the rest of the world that your cousin wants to get with you.
You brought up snitching in those streets. I'm very aware of what that.
She did snitch. I don't know how many cousins she have that would also want to get with her. I would imagine the police could probably narrow that down.
Yeah.
So she technically snitched anyway. I don't want to mention any names, but that one cousin of mine that actually wants to sleep with me. But I also found that it's amazing how common this is among your community. One of your other heroes in your community also apparently are dating or married to their cousins. Have you ever heard of the actors Kevin Bacon and Kira Sedgwick? They have been married for nearly 30 years and recently discovered they are cousins. The two actors tied the knot back in 1988 and share 2 adult children together. I figure I was going to be related to Kevin Bacon. I mean, most white people are related ultimately. That was Kira Sedgwick. So it's very clear that this is very common in your community. Incest.
What level of cousin?
They said distant, but we know what that means.
Are
No,
you
we
sure this
don't.
wasn't
We
from
don't.
a satirical website that
This
was
was
making
not
fun
a-
of
that
the
was-
6
what's the
degrees
website?
No, it was not.
What's the
of,
website?
of Kevin Bacon?
Unless the website is Fox News, another white man source. This is embarrassing for your community. Look, we saw 7, 8 seasons of incest on Game of Thrones between white people, and now we see it carrying over into reality. It obviously, we all know the genetic ramifications of marrying and having sex with your cousins, and I'm trying to understand how we can improve as a society if your people are out here constantly having sex with their cousins. I don't know how we can become the great America that we want to be when you're up here banging
I thought
cousin
we
Jan.
wanted to make it great again.
No, we can't even do that. But you guys are out here banging cousin Jan, cousin Chris, all these things. You almost kind of, sort of, well, that's a whole nother story. But the fact of the matter is, white America, you nasty as hell.
Okay. Well, Chris is still winning 640 to 590.
How? I had great sources. I had other points.
You had a source called incest.com. I should have taken points off of you for using a website called incest.com.
I couldn't find any other available data. That was the most recent available data.
Also, if you do just a quick search, there's a lot of articles on African American incest and how
That's
it's a
not
major
a thing.
problem.
That's not a thing.
Scoreboard's
Oh
still
no,
up.
that's not a thing. That is a lie.
It's not funny to talk about. or
Like,
laugh
I mean, just
about.
even look at the
You
queen. Look at
really-
the royal family.
You know what?
Look at the royal family.
I've avoided so many things, and you went dark here, mister. And that is,
How did I
you know,
go dark? It was a woman
I could just
telling
bring
the
up-
news that her cousin burned down her she shed because her she shed.
I could bring up R. Kelly or OJ every single week, and I avoid it.
I mean, I could.
OJ wouldn't work. He's not black. He's OJ. He
That's
said
very
it
true.
himself.
Good
That's
point.
very true.
Yeah.
So that's and it's. But you know what?
You know what?
I think we should kill bears.
I-
Kill them all.
Now he's
Kill
saying
all
that-
bears, I say.
I'll give you 10 points. for
I
that.
think I should be rewarded because rest in peace, Eddie Money has passed away.
What?
He's the singer, and he was a great steward of the Caucasian community. And in my grieving, immediately, I think I should, get a little cushion. Eddie Money, great in those Geico
Well,
commercials.
that is privilege. Okay. Privilege got him 10. 650 to 600. That's where we stand. Eddie Money passed away?
Yes, just dead, 70 years
we'll
old.
have to put that on part of the Cocktober playlist.
It looks like there's no more money
No,
in the bank.
stop it.
You lose 20 for that.
Thank you. That's very disrespectful. He is a person.
Looks like we're all out of money.
Stop.
No,
talking.
what?
Chris he is a person.
Also a human.
Was.
Y'all didn't have no problem having
I stopped myself
Y'all had
from saying
Aretha
was,
Franklin
by the
jokes,
way.
but I can't do Eddie Money jokes?
No. We said her funeral was long. You're attacking the now deceased hitmaker.
You're punning his name.
I guess you could say he's now Eddie Broke.
Gardner.
Come on, give me at least 10 points back for that one. That's a good
bad.
one.
Minus 10.
Damn it.
I would have taken.
Did the cousin snitch? She could have more than one cousin who wants to bang her.
I can't believe you're letting incest fly. Incest in the community fly.
I'll take 20 off.
Thank you. Good God. Yeah, I really question that stat, but still.
Well, now I'm taking
That's-
10 off you.
I'm married.
You're
But come
questioning your
on.
own data from incest.com. I mean,
It was because of my cousin, and I don't want to mention no names. He's mad because he can't get with me because I'm married to my husband. Like, there are a lot of things in that sentence that would normally decapitate most races, and I don't want to mention no names. He's mad because he can't get with me
Did they
because
ever
I'm
catch
married
him?
to my husband.
Were there
No-
ever charges?
Yale Hollander has canceled the trolley show in place of a wake for Eddie Money all night. Those are some good songs. What do you have? 2 big ones?
Let's go through the list.
2 Tickets to Paradise. Take Me Home Tonight. Did you guys see the movie Take Me Home Tonight?
No, who's in that?
Topher Grace. It was fun. It was a fun little
I don't remember
teen
that.
party movie.
I'm
Or
gonna-
mid-adult.
I'm going to leave the T-Gar scores at that, just so you know. So I'm going to take those down. 630 to 550. Chris leads Travis midway through the month.
No
of
surprises
September.
there.
630 to 550. No, that's disappointing news with Eddie Money.
Very sad. Very sad.
I doubt that Yale is canceling the show, but I'm sure he will find a way to honor him tonight.
I sure hope so.
Maybe
Is it going to turn into like a yacht rock type of
Maybe
loop
actually
trolley tonight?
Maybe you'll have 2 tickets to Sandals. That'd be cool.
I'll put the damn scoreboard back up. And take
What?
my points off.
That's a
Yeah.
come
But
on.
You don't attack sandals. Oh wow. Baby Hold On, Shaken, 2 Tickets to Paradise.
Baby, hold
I want to go back. Looks like Walk on Water, Fall in Love again. I mean, he's got 4 that people really know.
In
Shaken.
honor.
Huh? We need.
R.I.P.
What are his kids?
I'm telling you,
No.
those guys who.
I know. I'm
commercials are
asking.
money.
What are his kids?
No. I'm looking at your face.
I don't. I just had a question.
Okay, ask your question.
I'm just curious. Does he leave behind dollar and cents?
No. I told you. You couldn't even look at me after I called you out for that beforehand.
Look at
You had to look at Chris. You couldn't even look at me in the eye. This is how you memorialize someone?
It's the best way to remember one.
Oh, is it?
He now has his ticket to paradise.
That's better.
Come on. That's
Okay,
good.
now that's a good headline.
Okay, here we go.
I would have given you points for that one.
He's now out of his dreams and into our hearts.
What is that?
I don't know. Is that what
That's Billy Ocean.
Oh, shoot. Damn it.
We were just talking about him last
Is
hour.
Billy Ocean alive?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
You're 1 degree away from insulting Tom Petty fans again. Will Geico fly their flag at half mast? I want to watch. Yeah, Bill. That's from Billy Fat. Those Geico commercials were money, man. They were funny,
Oh, come on. Does he lose points? Does he lose
dude. I was
points?
complimenting his
The
work.
scoreboard's gone.
Oh, come on.
His eyes. 2 tickets to paradise. Okay, Eddie Money, take it easy. He did look, and he was entering the phase of his life where rock stars do
Yeah.
look like your crazy aunt as well.
And that's fine.
Totally fine.
That you're right. That is a face.
Steven Tyler's on like year 20 of
Yeah,
it.
I was just trying to think. I'm like, when did that start there?
You ever seen a woman that looks like Steven Tyler and you're like, she is really attractive. She looks like Steven Tyler.
Or what's his name? Brett Michaels.
Ray
Oh,
Michaels,
yeah. Once they
Has-
kind of start getting into the Botoxy thing, the
Yeah.
long hair is like kind of frizzy now. And,
So,
yeah.
so I'm trying to. I don't know when Steven Tyler's began. I'm trying to. Would it be like 6-7 years ago for Bret Michaels, or even longer ago
Yeah,
now?
probably when he started doing that show.
So how long ago was that? That was
Probably
that
way
10
longer
years
than we
ago?
realize. Yeah,
10 years ago.
That's one of those. I'm like, yeah, it's on this Tuesday, and they're like, that's been off the air for 8 years.
Yeah.
Right.
So it might be 10 years ago that he started entering that phase.
Yeah, with the hat, because no offense, ladies,
It's
but
like-
ladies do wear a straw cowboy hat,
Yeah.
especially the pink ones.
It's like for male rockers from that age, it's like menopause for them.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
like their menopause.
Mm-hmm. Where they're still kind of trying to keep up. They're doing the things that are now. It's like the slightly refreshed version of what they would have done in their prime, but it no longer looks that way because you ain't got the same body, muscle tone, etc. And it gets a little weird.
It does. It
does.
does do that.
It's a little
most
like,
certainly.
why do you have scarves and dangly things? Like, why did we need to add that to your wardrobe?
Like Keith Richards has never really entered that phase.
He's just
yet.
always kind of jeans, no shirt, and,
yeah,
and a
maybe
bandana,
a little,
right?
but he's just his.
That'd be someone's very unfortunate looking aunt.
Yeah, and maybe
And he didn't have that. He didn't have long hair.
right. So maybe I don't see him as that type. He's just kind of hardened
Right.
over to like calcified. He's calcified.
Calcified.
Right.
I love that.
Well, and at this point, like you'd have to look to 80s rockers for that, right? As
Yeah.
they're like kind of in their 60s. Because in your 50s and early 60s even, I think you can still kind of be handsome-ish before you start trying to do too much vanity stuff, maybe.
Right, and that's specifically from this group of rockers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like the ones from the 90s or 2000s, we might not have this same type of phase.
Because they didn't do... Because it was punk
There
rock
wasn't
to look
hair
feminine.
band, right.
It was punk. It
Yeah.
really was, yeah.
So the style, the genre kind of dictates that some.
Yeah.
Or their style kind of dictates that.
But like Mumford and Sons can't do that.
No.
That's not on brand.
It's like,
They're
what are
just
they
going to
gonna-
look like prospectors.
Yeah, and that's like, what do they do when they get? Are they going to shave?
Yeah,
No.
right.
Is that what's going to happen? They're going to shave every day. I mean,
ZZ Top can't do it. They got to have the beards.
right.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know what those faces are going to look like, but we'll get to see hopefully.
It'll be like your aunt with blonde tips
Yeah.
from boy bands in the 2000s. Like, dude, you're 60 now. Stop it. We are going to speak to comedian Rhea Butcher. So if you can give us just a second, we're going to take a quick break. They're at the Ready Room this Sunday. You can get tickets online. We're going to get Rhea connected, and we'll be right back. Quick break. It's We Are Live. Huge thanks to all of our great sponsors. We'll be right back.
We are live, live, live. We are live, live, live. We are live, live, live. We are live.
Welcome back to We Are Live. Pleased to be joined from L.A. Rhea Butcher in town Sunday at the Ready Room. Get tickets online. You can get them through Eventbrite. We'll share the link for tickets as well. Doors at 7, show at 8 p.m. All ages, so only $20. This is going to be a great show this Sunday. Rhea, thanks for coming back on the show. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm great. I'm actually in Austin, Texas right now.
Austin. Very
It's
nice.
So hot. Yeah.
Is it just absolutely disgusting? And this is part of the tour, huh?
Part of the tour. Austin last night, Houston tonight, and then New Orleans tomorrow, and then St. Louis on Sunday.
Could you have
Very
picked?
much looking forward to it.
Could you have picked a hotter run at this time of year?
No.
It's not going
I
to be
could not.
forgiving in St. Louis either.
No, it's going to be, and all the humidity is going to be there too.
Yeah,
And I'm going to bring
absolutely.
some from New Orleans.
Oh,
Because
well,
I figured,
thank you.
Everybody likes humidity.
If you could only just stop off in Memphis, you can get the taste of like 3 cities that are exactly the same but slightly different
But
sizes
slightly
in
different.
the feel.
Yeah, just slightly different regions of humidity.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my favorite. Like in Los Angeles, people are always like, "Oh my God, it's so humid," and I'm like, "You don't know what you're talking about at all. It is not humid. I come from a place where you can hear the humidity. You know,
disgusting.
That's-
It's like people
Yeah.
kind of clearing their mouth whenever you're walking through the disgusting air.
Yeah, exactly.
Rhea, very popular. Last time you were in town, our friend Tina D-Ball was on the show with you, and we did a show
Yep.
with her last night, and wanted to tell you hello and excited to have you back in St. Louis. So I know people
What's
are
up,
very
Tina
pumped.
D-Ball?
Yeah, right, look at that.
That was
getting
a
the
great
shootout.
show. I'm excited to be back in St. Louis, and I'm really happy for you guys to be, you're still right up at the top in the Central Division right now, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we could just jump in and talk baseball for the next 3 to 4 hours if you want. I know that
Sure.
that's your area of expertise. I don't know how much you've paid attention to the Cardinals, right? But locally, it's actually this has been a really strange season because there are talented players, but everybody was super mad they didn't go in on Harper or Machado or any big
Sure.
free agent thing. Nothing at the trade deadline, and yet here they sit. They could be 6 games
Yeah.
up, but they're 4 games up in the Central on the Cubs. So it's been a really weird thing because attendance numbers are amazing, but if you kind of just have your ear open locally, you would think the Cardinals are in 5th place and just doing absolutely horrible in the division. But yet
Sure.
they're 11 games out, 11 games away from a playoff appearance if they win 11.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Goldschmidt was a great pickup. You know, I mean, Harper is not producing like at all. So, but I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Everybody wants to be mad. You got to have something to be mad about. And also, the Cubs didn't pick up anybody. At least
True.
you guys got Paul Goldschmidt. And Colton Wong is producing like crazy because
You
I'm
know-
like constantly playing him in fantasy baseball.
He's amazing. And do you know how many
He is
people
amazing.
wanted to trade him for like a lefty reliever, like at various tribes?
All of them,
They're just
probably.
like, everybody's like, dump him. Yeah, this guy that's now maybe the one of the, if not the best second baseman in baseball. It's very
Yeah,
interesting.
top
to see.
5 at least.
Right. Yeah.
for sure.
It's very funny. I wonder if that correlates to comedy a little bit. I mean, obviously you've got Conan, Comedy Central, all of your wonderful appearances under your belt. I do think it's crazy that someone like you could run into somebody going to your show that's not aware of who you are necessarily, and they're just like, what do you
Sure.
got? It's always a constant prove it to me in sports
Oh,
or
yeah,
comedy
I
or
mean-
anything else. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky that for the most part, when people come to see me, they know who they're like coming to see.
Sure.
But definitely like, not the amount of people that know my stand up is like a concentrated group of amazing people, but it's not everybody. That's for sure. You know, where you're
Right.
like, holy crap. But yeah,
I wonder if
yeah,
that
you're just constantly still trying to do more of it.
It's true too, and you can literally have someone in comedy that will just for a tune-up show play to a room of 20 people because it's an off night, and it's like, hey, it's stage time and it'll be fun, and I'll work my craft. And then the next night you can be literally on Jimmy Kimmel or something like that, and someone will still just be like,
Right.
they were kind of funny. It's just
Yeah.
that kills me, that part of your world.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just like baseball. It's all context, you know.
Right.
Um,
It's the
Like
full
whatever
season you
people
gotta
are
look at.
looking for, they're gonna find. So if they're like, well, that was all right, like coming in, like prove it to me,
Yes,
you're never gonna prove it. You're just never gonna prove it, you know.
that's so
If
true.
somebody's going into it like, oh, I like this, like they're probably gonna like it.
Exactly.
So
Be-
I just go into almost every situation that I possibly can, going, people want to like this, you know, instead of
That's a good mindset.
looking for the people that don't.
yeah.
It's
Uh,
not easy. It's a very recent, but
No, you do have to be strong, and you have to believe in yourself. Oh, especially too, because you're opening yourself up creatively. So there's this weird like, yes, it's business, but it's also you at a time too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of strange at times compartmentalizing that.
oh yeah, all the
dealing with
time,
that.
and especially like, and you have to like work things out, and you have to come up with new stuff, and you have to take risks, but it's difficult because it's literally the words coming out of your own mouth, you know. So like, you're responsible for all the stuff that you're doing and saying. So yeah, I want to say it's tough, but like I'm so lucky to be doing this job, so it's not tough at all. Like it's, you know, I'm grateful for
it's-
the opportunity.
It's a constant struggle with yourself and with what you present to people as well.
Yeah,
it could be
great.
super interesting. So, how long have you been podcasting, by the way?
I mean, I've been doing a podcast of some form since 2013.
How crazy
So
is it? It's just it's insane that you're since 2013 and now this wave is happening. I'm just curious, like we're seeing like the thing with Conan just came out that he's shepherding the new thing, and I know some people took umbrage with that, but at the same time it's like, nah, you kind of want a name like Conan O'Brien attached to something you're doing. That's a good thing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And
but,
I mean, it's kind of like this happens with anything. Like it gets built up, and then people come in and go, oh, this is a worthwhile thing.
Yeah.
And then they start doing it, and it makes it even bigger, you know? Like, and I don't mean that in like any sort of detrimental way. It's like,
No.
why would somebody like Conan think they need a podcast until, oh, these things make a lot of money? Okay, I'm going to do that too. And
Right.
it fits into, because like, I mean, he makes a TV show every day.
Right.
Why would you be like, yeah, I got to sit down and talk to somebody for 2 hours when I like do that every day anyway on television, you know? But yeah, I've been doing a podcast in some form since 2013. I had a movie podcast, and then Put Your Hands Together, the stand-up podcast, which was the only one that of its kind. That was 6.5 years long. And then I've been doing my baseball podcast for about 2 years now.
It's insane to me the amount, like Keith Morrison just came out with a podcast from Dateline.
Wait, Keith who?
Keith
Oh,
Morrison.
God.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the lead singer of the Circle Jerks.
Oh. I would listen
who
to
I
that.
see around Los Angeles all the time.
That's
Right?
hilarious.
We used to live in the same neighborhood. It was so weird to just be like, oh.
So it's funny too because you're a Midwest person, and it's I
Yeah.
like maybe we won't ever be able to shake that. Anytime I go to Los Angeles and you're sitting there and you look and you're like having lunch somewhere relatively popular, and you look over and you're like, that dude was in Little Giants, like
Right,
it's
yeah.
like you see
Yeah, I
these.
see Hammy from The Sandlot all the time. Right?
That's so
Like
awesome.
I've seen him so many times. When I see him, I'm like, oh, there's that dude again. Like I don't. It's not like weird. That's
Yeah.
how many times I've seen him.
It's just a guy that happens to get coffee
that
where you get
dude.
coffee. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
exactly.
As far as your career goes, you had a public relationship with Tig, and I believe things have been done for a while now. Correct?
Wait, what did you just say?
Your ex-girlfriend? No.
Is who?
Who were you dating?
Did you say Tig?
Who were you dating?
No.
Previously.
I'm not talking about like my personal life stuff. I didn't have like a girl. I'm a married person.
I'm an
but
idiot.
I'm not talking. Huh?
I'm an idiot then. We don't have
That's
to
all
discuss
right.
anything
I
personal.
was surprised by that one. I was just surprised by that one.
That was a slip of the tongue
I'm
then.
just like taking a break from talking about my personal life, like that specific part of my personal life.
Please do. Yeah, that makes sense because that answers the question what it would be like to be in a position to have to deal with personal things on a larger level. So as far as your career goes, what are we doing? You're obviously on a big tour right now. You have the podcast. Aspirations for more. Do you want to take it movies? Do you want to take it TV series? I'm only relating to this because we know somebody that's having some success with this who's worked really hard. Righteous Gemstones just came on HBO, right? Super popular right now. But there's also a lot of people who've been grinding away for several years that are in these parts. At this point in your career, is that a dream to jump into something that would be like an attachment and then you shine? Do you want to just keep growing to do, maybe you're at the perfect level for stand-up too. You said you have a great audience that comes out. Do you want to do stadiums? Like, what do you want to do with your career in the next 5 years? I think it's interesting to see what people's goals are.
Sure, yeah, bring the stadiums on.
A baseball stadium tour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing like a guest starring role on the show Good Trouble, which is on Freeform, which is a sort of new spin-off from the show The Fosters. It's a really great show, and I really like working on it. So I would love to keep doing more acting stuff, but that's you just audition and you keep doing it until you do it, or you just keep auditioning until you're like, I'm not going to audition anymore. So I mean, it is just a job and like a whole sort of thing that you just do until you do it, or you go, I'm going to have a farm that rescues pigs and cows and stuff.
I think that's
those are
perfect.
kind of my goals. Because I'm like lucky enough to be doing it at the level that I'm doing it. And when I say it, I mean all of it. Like being on Good Trouble, having a podcast, like people show up to my shows. I'm really lucky to get to do it and to get to put my thoughts out there and be creative and meet people. So I'm lucky to be where I'm at. I would just love to keep doing it, whatever that looks like.
I think that's the best answer you could possibly have, because that's somebody that's strong-willed. It's strong-willed,
Sure.
and that creates your kind of your own lane as well. And that's
and it's also like it can be really painful, because this is like we were saying with stand-up, like it feels like it's about you, and it's not. It's about a lot of people. Like a lot of people make a lot of decisions, and it's not always like that you are not good, that you don't get something, or that you don't get a part, or that it's not going this way, or you didn't do this. It's like it's not always like that you are a failure. In fact, it often isn't. It's just like, oh, this other person was a better fit.
It's so hard to remove yourself from that, isn't it? It's absolutely insane, because it just goes back to what we were talking about. Yes, it's a business, but that's you. You are your business too. So the fact that you can level up,
which is weird.
It is. It's weird. Strange. You're not like, here's my accounting prowess. It's like, no, this is my soul. Check it out.
Here's my soul. What do you think about it? Oh, you don't like it? Okay, cool. Great.
That doesn't affect me, but it also really affects me. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Any of the new specials come out? There's been a lot of, I guess, Netflix stuff. Have you put anything on Netflix or any of the big streaming platforms? And then what would I have some experience with a friend who had one on Amazon, and he was just kind of like, it was whatever. I guess there's some publicity. Just in the medium itself, do you have aspirations of that, or do you want to self-release? What do you want to do?
I mean, I would love to put a special out, but again, it's the same kind of thing. It's like you got to have what they're looking for, and you just keep going for that. I mean, I'd love to do that, but I don't have anything out.
No, well, I think you're doing a great job with everything else, and you're very polite whenever I screw up.
Oh yeah, of course.
Completely mess up names, but as far as the show goes Sunday, again, greatly received last time in St. Louis at the Ready Room this Sunday. Is there anything you need to refresh people in St. Louis about regarding the tour? Everything in your life, what they're going to see Sunday. It's going to be a great show, and the Ready Room's a fantastic place to see a show. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. Yeah.
I hope you can come out. I mean, I'm really just trying to put together like an hour of like fun, and like some joy and just like some laughter about some sort of silly things, big things, but silly things. Because, there's a lot of shit going on, and people need a break from that. We don't need I don't need to remind everybody for an hour what everything is like necessarily. Because I think that we don't need to ignore everything, but I do think you have to take care of yourself every now and then. And if we're not experiencing joy and happiness and those kinds of things together, then everything is truly bad. And I just don't think that that's the case. And again, that's not to say that none of it's bad. I just think there is still good stuff. That's why I called it the Good Things Tour, because there's still good things. And spending an hour or 2 hours with a group of people, like laughing at funny things, like not laughing at other people, I think is a very beneficial thing that you can then go out and bring joy into other people's lives. So that's kind of what my aim is for Sunday.
Well, I think that's an excellent way to approach it too. And even if you're not tackling, the issues that maybe are viewed the biggest at the core or the most divisive, I think that comedy shows, especially comedy shows at a cool rock venue like the Ready Room, are kind of the best way to cut loose. And when you have a true pro, somebody who's been doing stand-up at a high level for many years, up on stage, it's a different experience. Like we were just talking about specials. You can see people that'll sell out Madison Square Garden, and then you'll watch their special sometimes, and it's like, okay, it's nowhere near the experience of a live show. So Sunday, the Ready Room in the Grove, it'll be a great time. Go see Rhea, and it's a good excuse to cut loose and see somebody do something that they're very good at. So we're excited to get you back in St. Louis.
Hey man, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Let's cut loose.
Let's do it. Rhea, thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure having you on, and we'll tweet out and Facebook out all the ticket stuff. So anytime, come back on. Thank you so much, Rhea.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was great talking to you.
Absolutely.
I'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Have a
We'll
good
see
one.
you Sunday at the
Bye.
Ready Room. Rhea Butcher. Tickets online now. And you got to go see Rhea perform. Again, it's the, 9:15, obviously, is Sunday. But it's the $20 online. That's what I was looking for. So we'll rock that out for you guys. Check out the Ready Room. And that'll do it for the show today, Gardner. Thank you so much, guys. We're back live at 8 a.m. on Monday. Enjoy your weekends. We'll see you then.